Amazon reported last night, posting a third straight record profit. However, the company's revenue guidance for the first quarter missed expectations, and that is weighing on the stock this morning. We'll take a look at Amazon momentarily, and as you can see, the numbers there of $5.68 a share versus $6.04. The stock down right now 4.5%. Joining me right now, CFRA Research Media and Entertainment Analyst Tuna Amobi. Tuna, it's great to see you again.
As always, Maria.
Your reaction to the Amazon quarter?
So, I thought that there were a number of positive takeaways here, right? The operating income number actually topped the guidance that the company provided. The one kind of blip in the quarter was the revenue number, as you alluded to, right? So I think that is actually, in a way, due to the law of large numbers. It's kind of finally catching up. But I think the main story here, as I think about Amazon, is the kind of the favorable mix shift from traditional lower margin businesses to actually businesses that are now going to be incremental to the overall margin. So think about cloud computing. Think about the shift to third-party sellers and also the growing advertising business. So all of this, I think, bode well for future profitability.
So what drove things in the quarter, and how would you characterize the holiday season in terms of the nuts and bolts of the business, delivery and retail?
Sure. So I think we know that the holiday season actually came in fairly strong overall across the industry. Amazon has been gaining share, and all of the data points that we saw coming into this quarter for the holiday season, I think, really set the company up for what I believe was a monster, holiday season. All of the hardware devices, the Echo, Alexa, the Fire Stick were flying off the shelves. But there is no doubt that the core e-commerce business has been slowing, and we saw that again this past quarter. So overall, I think the fundamentals of the business remain intact. The favorite metric that the company looks at, trailing 12-month operating free cash flow, now hitting a run rate of almost $20 billion, almost double year over year.
That's slowing. Is that a function of a slowing global economy, or is that a function of just Amazon and the law of large numbers, as you said? Does growth become tougher from here?
It does from a top-line perspective, there's no doubt. If you're talking about the core e-commerce business, both in the U.S. and international. But I think Amazon Web Services, which is only 10% of the overall revenue growth, is going to maintain a trajectory, we think, of at least 45 to 50% growth for the next few years, now almost hitting a $30 billion run rate business. So
and that's the cloud business.
That's the cloud business.
AWS, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. What company surprised you? Broaden it out for us. Take a look at the quarter in general in terms of earnings growth. Any company surprised you so far this earnings season?
I think, a lot of the big media companies are yet to report. We know the FANG names have been navigating a lot of the, privacy issues. Facebook was a really good positive surprise. I think kind of set the tone of what to expect here. So I think the core FANG story essentially remains intact. The media, the core media business, as we look to the next few weeks when the big ones start to report, frankly, I think there's really not much to be too excited about here. The core businesses are facing some secular pressures, but all the companies are really repositioning themselves for this new paradigm shift of direct-to-consumer shift, and that's going to be the key here, which companies can favorably make that transition.
Well, we're just coming off of the best month in 30 years for the markets. Would you put new money to work right here?
Well, Maria, as you know, it's debatable the chances of recession. This is a sector universe that is really kind of cyclical, and if the odds of a recession increase dramatically, then all bets are off. But having said that, I think there's still some fundamental, things that make us quite optimistic as we look over the next 12 months.
Within media?
Within media and, in fact, within the technology TMT sector.
All right, we will leave it there. Tuna, great to see you.
Thanks, Maria.
Thanks so much. Tuna Amobi joining us there.